was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful weather.
Well, there's that too, right? I know, especially last week being all gray and rainy all week, and then suddenly yesterday, like 4 o'clock, like the sky opened and there we go. All right, 6 o'clock, let's get started. Call me the order, pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for the May 15th, 2023 Credit River City Council meeting. I do want to, right before we get to approving or amend the agenda, I just want to make one recognition. I do want to recognize Mark McNeil for almost a year now, it'll be a year at the end of this month of interim and city administrator service to the city of Credit River. This is officially his last official city council meeting with us tonight. As our new city administrator, Catherine Reynolds, will start on the 30th of this month, and will be present for the next city council meeting. So last year, June of 2022, we brought Mark in as an interim, as an opportunity to start helping us. A couple of goals, one of being find his replacement was the top of the goal, but then help us through several other pieces of work that wasn't getting done. Because it didn't land on a council member, or we didn't have proper staff for that. So I do really want to recognize you, Mark, and really appreciate what you've done for us over the last year, and wish you well into your second retirement. And if you ever get bored again, I'm sure we can find something for you to do.
Thank you very much. I've had a great time and really enjoyed Credit River. Got a great community here, and I'm really excited to watch and see where things are going. I think Kathy will do a wonderful job. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, approve or amend the agenda. Is there any changes on the agenda tonight that anybody would like to make, or otherwise I'll take a motion to approve?
I'd like to add one to 6.3, I guess.
Okay,
Dust coating and gravel hauling, just update on it.
perfect. Anybody else?
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the changes noted.
Thank you, Brent. Second. Thank you, Jay. All right, I got a motion and a second to approve the agenda with the one change. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Those items on the consent agenda, which are considered routine, non-controversial, are included as part of the consent agenda. Unless a council member specifically requests that an item on the consent agenda be removed and considered separately, items on the consent agenda are considered under one motion, a second, and a vote. Any item removed from the consent agenda shall be placed at the end of general business. Tonight, on the consent agenda, we have approved pedestrian trail connection between 170th Circle and County Road 27 Trail. Rescheduled a second regular city council meeting in June. Approved the May 1st, 2023 city council meeting minutes, and the purchase of an additional citizen served software license. Is there anything on tonight's consent agenda that anybody would like to consider separately? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to approve consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Leroy. Got a motion and a second to approve consent agenda as written. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Open forum. The public forum is intended to afford the public an opportunity to address concerns to the council. The public forum will be no longer than 30 minutes in length, and each presenter will have no more than 5 minutes to speak. Topics of discussion are restricted to local governmental topics rather than private or political agendas. The council may discuss but will not take formal action on public forum presentations. Is there anybody who'd like to speak in open forum tonight? Jump on up. If you do me a favor and turn that microphone on, hold that square button, hold it down until the green light comes on. There you go.
Word plat, 7210 165th Street East. And in no way do I think this is a city situation or problem. I just want to explain, if you haven't already heard, I put up some signs on 165th directing people to Creekwood Lane and at the end of my driveway. Some Apple Maps are sending people right through my yard to get to Creekwood Lane.
Really?
So And then I've also heard some people say, oh, they must have fixed it because I just checked. And it's right. Well, I had people check too, and then a couple days later, here comes another one. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm almost in their delivery people. So, and then I say, well, what's the deal? What's the deal? Well, Creekwood Lane. And it's like, what maps are you using? Oh, Apple Maps. They show me. Sure enough, it's showing them to go right through my yard. So that's the explanation for the signs. And when people says, well, I just checked it, they must have fixed it.
Well, it's
Well-
interesting, so Google Maps doesn't, at least
No,
from here.
I don't think so. And your Apple Maps probably doesn't do it either.
Well, yeah, use Google Maps.
I do
so-
too. I
Yeah.
do too. So anyway,
Well, it's interesting you say that because there are other places, so Casey Parkway to the east of 27. Google Maps and Apple Maps, if you were trying to get to, say you're at the corner of 170th and 27, and Google Map to get to Action Garage Door would have you drive right through the field road back there to get there.
oh, good.
Yeah,
So I'm not alone.
you're not the only one.
So anyway, if anybody's got connections at Apple, call them up and tell them you know Vern and knock it off. It hasn't happened for a while, and it's
Yeah.
not every day, it's not every week,
Sure,
every month, I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, one
Well,
time,
and those are the ones you see.
exactly, that was my next point.
Yeah.
One time I walked out there, wintertime, snow on the ground, there's a package on the back door of my shop for the people right behind me. A couple weeks ago, the people across the street got 4 pizzas dropped on their front step when they weren't home. For Creekwood, and then somebody's delivering a postal log, or,
Yeah,
I mean, so whatever, but like I said,
all
it's an
right,
explanation,
right.
it's not a,
No, thank you very much. I
Criticism.
appreciate the information.
See, like, when Google, it's a report follow with maps on for Apple Maps.
Yeah.
You Google that, you probably do it, because I know in Google Maps, you
Yeah.
can make a thing, you can say that something's wrong. and that's what you can-
Really?
Yeah, so just Google it.
Well,
see. Google
the
it.
guy that was supposed to get the pizzas, he did tell me he went to Apple, and I said, well, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, so,
Maybe we should tell people not to use Apple Maps.
Well.
Yeah, just kidding.
so anyway, that's all I got.
Perfect, thank you, Vern. Anybody else for open forum tonight? Seeing none, we'll close open forum and move into general business. General business 6.1, accept microsurfacing bids and award contract to Aztec. Good evening, Shane, how are you today?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Doing well.
Good. Would you please introduce us to the subject?
Sure, yeah, just a quick review. So we had previously taken this project to the city council to approve plans and specs and authorize ad for bids. After we discussed it with the council last, we learned that 170th Street was going to be closed kind of on our western border for the County Road 21 Revere Way 170th Street intersection project. Therefore, the plans were quickly revised to remove 170th and Whitewood and Birch, since they're all kind of connecting from the project, and it was bid, or the project was bid without those roads included. So as typical for this type of project, we only received one bid. Just as a reminder, there's only 2 companies that do this type of work. It's generally Aztec, and sometimes Farner Asphalt out of Wisconsin will bid, but they're kind of sporadic when they choose to bid or not. So we just received one bid. It is in line with our engineer's estimate. I think we originally had $260,000 budgeted for this activity this year. But with that, I'd recommend award of the contract to Aztec in the amount of $195 and $54, $195,054.
Okay, thank you, Shane. Council members, any questions?
No.
Jay?
This is essentially $70,000 under what was budgeted.
Mhm. And again, that's because we removed the 2 roads from that project.
What were those worth? Any idea? Just Shane, do you know how much those were worth?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the shortfall. Our engineer's estimate was just slightly lower than the bid amount, so we were at about 185,000 for this project
And that was with those remote roads removed, right?
with the roads removed. Yep.
And how, I guess, I think, Shane, if you know off the top of your head, I think what Jay's asking is, what would have been the engineer's estimate? If those roads were still included?
Well, he said 260.
That was the budget amount.
Okay, so that wasn't his actual estimate, or what
Well,
would
that would have been his estimate from last year's. Right, okay. Right, Shane, am I saying that correct? The budget amount?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
The linear feet used for with last year's
Price.
price?
That is correct.
So I know like 170th Street is, what's that, about 3/4 of a mile end to end? And then Whitewood and Birch is 3/4 of a mile, so it's 1.5 miles.
Be about right.
Okay.
Right, thank you.
Any other questions?
I've got a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
So 170th, then we're gonna come back to it then. Do we have an idea of when we're looking to get back there? I mean, are we in as rough of a shape on 170th as we are on the other two?
Shane?
So the plan, Mr. Mayor, would be to reprogram 170th for next year. So again, we have that culvert replacement project that we're probably gonna have to wait until later on in the year to complete, because we can't shut the road down from both sides. Since that's gonna be kind of a late summer project, early fall, there's not gonna be enough time left in the season to do the microsurfacing on this project, and we don't wanna, freshly microsurface the road and then remove the pavement or cut into it in order to replace that culvert. So we would schedule that work for next year.
So nothing dire though. I mean, if we wait till next year, we're.
Yeah,
That's good.
this is
That's
the regular seal coat maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No other questions? If somebody's ready with the motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Leroy.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jay. A motion and a second to accept the microsurfacing bids at the amount of $195,054 and award the contract to Aztec. All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. 6.2, establish dates for neighborhood meetings with Credit River residents. As we talked in workshop here a month or so ago, I brought up the idea that it'd be nice if we could have kind of a meet and greet opportunity as Kathy comes on board and, do it 4 different ones in our neighborhood parks. And it'd be, my recommendation would be, new city administrator, myself, and then rotate through the rest of the council at each of the 4 parks. So I think in the memo here tonight, I've got approval or a proposed 4 dates to do this. And those dates would be June 21st in the Country Court Park, the 22nd in Creekwood, the 27th in Casey's, and 29th in Scottsview. So I guess what I'd be looking for tonight is, again, approval of this type of events, and then if you guys wanted to put your name on one of those dates, I would be thrilled with that.
What, do we have like alternate rain days and things like that for the weather, or are we? And where?
That's a
what are the dates again?
Or in the,
In
the packet,
21st, 22nd, 27th, and 29th. I did not bring out any rain date ones. I think we could do that as a ad hoc,
Yeah.
Yes, Brent.
so, Mr. Mayor, a couple of questions. Do we know what city administrator's schedule is? I'm assuming these would be early evenings, maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking, I think
30-ish, 6-ish, whatever.
6:30,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Do we know what her schedule is? If she's got something scheduled those evenings? I'm just throwing that out.
no, that's a good thought
Okay.
process. We
Yeah.
don't know. Taking a little bit of a shot in the dark.
Sure.
So we can get started on
Yes,
something.
no, I think that's fine.
And, I didn't want to put something on her schedule until we knew that this was going to go forward.
Other comment, okay, so we don't have any, cover pavilion tables do we bring chairs or what do we?
Or it could be informal and just, you know, everybody, you know, mentioned everybody bring a lawn chair if you wish to sit down and we just stand and huddle around and.
Yeah.
Or bring chairs, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't think I didn't think that we'd do it at be all that formal, more of just a, you know. Introduction and a
Sure.
little opportunity to talk a little bit.
Sure.
And see where it goes. I think there's,
Sure, that's fine.
I think in all these neighborhoods, there's always plenty of people that wanna
Yeah.
talk and
Yep.
have suggestions and.
Makes sense.
it's,
I'll volunteer for the Casey one.
Okay.
Maybe then on a Thursday, it'd be the taco truck that night.
I think they're struggling with some, I've seen some of the notes go back, but I think they're struggling with,
Oh, yeah.
well, it's tough to get a food truck unless you meet a minimum.
Right.
amount. And I don't know that. 2020, then they first did that, worked out really good. There's big lines at the top at the food trucks, but
Mhm.
the last couple of years, it's kind of weaned off a little bit. 27th be a Tuesday.
Yep.
Jay, you want your neighborhood? I suppose. Okay. Brent and Abe, you want to fight over Creekwood or Scottsview?
I know most of the people in Creekwood. I don't know if they'd want to see me or not. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. I'd do Scottsview if, well, I'm just being honest. I'd do Scottsview if, I mean, I know quite a few of the folks there, Leroy, after our
Oh, yeah.
road project there. So I'd be happy to do Scottsview on the 29th. If that's, but
Yep,
that's
that's
okay
fine.
with you.
I have no preference.
Sounds good.
So, Jay Country Court, Abe Creekwood, Leroy Casey, and Brett Scott.
And yeah, Chris all, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, do we have any agenda? How are we gonna advertise? What's the community gonna be hearing?
Yeah, you know, my thought process was is we just advertise it as a meet and greet with you know, new city administrator and two elected members of the council and elected as you know, presented as an opportunity to meet the new administrator and then to, you know, just have some dialogue. But I don't know if we go in with an agenda or if we just, you know, open with you know, an introduction and let it organically happen. I think each neighborhood would probably have their own questions and
List of wants.
list,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and if there's a
If
time
it-
span, people get there when they get there, and the only thing they know for sure is that we're gonna be there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can probably, if to get stuff, you know, started, we could probably talk about a couple different things. We can, you know, some of the, you know, road seal coating that's gonna be happening, coming up, you know, things like that. We can, you know, just throw out there as a spot to start talking and generate some conversation.
Have we thought about putting that front page on the, how are we gonna do, I'm a
Yeah.
little off topic, but intro on the website, bio, maybe meet and greet, things of that nature?
We can definitely do that. I definitely plan on doing, you know, website. We'll do an event on there. We'll do email blast, social media posts. We'll probably do it a couple times.
President of the
Now and
Homeowners
then.
Association deal.
Yeah, you know, I think we've got a pretty good reach with the email right now. I think we're getting close to 1,000 subscribers now, so pretty good reach on that.
And definitely the HOA at Scottsview, we wouldn't have any other ones. Well, you know, everybody at Country Court, you could go door to door, Jay.
People have done that.
I know, so I was saying, you know, everybody, you could go do that again.
Yeah. I think word spreads pretty quick if we do a couple of those things. Again, we can schedule out some social media posts and some email.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
Tim could spread it to Casey.
Can go around how they pave their roads. They're pretty good about watching what goes on and I think that'll organically spread pretty quickly, you know, once we get it out there. So. Yeah,
Sounds good.
good. All right,
Hey.
we'll march forward with it. If there's anything else, I mean, we do have a meeting in between, so if there's anything that comes up that we need to talk about it, we have June 5th as another opportunity to dial things in a little bit, so. Maybe even, you know, put some stuff together and if we see what we like and if we want to change anything, so.
Are you gonna communicate with Kathy then so that she can get these
Yes.
on her schedule?
Mark, got that? Cool. Awesome. Good, that's all I got on that one. Leroy, dust coating update.
They're gonna start hauling gravel next week. couple, 3 days, weather permitting. Brent said they're gonna dust coat on the first week of June.
Yeah,
Potentially.
week of the fifth, it all kind of depends on the weather and how everything goes with everybody, but we're down that week, possibly that Monday. I would guess we would know the Thursday before.
Yeah,
What exact day. They're pretty fluid, but they've got to have two drivers and long truck and short truck.
sure.
We need both. So,
All right, I'm back to these.
and Leroy, you said you were gonna,
Yeah, I'll go.
gotcha.
Yeah, I know Jay was talking about going, but
I do it, but I've got it,
you're the fifth,
through the 8th, I think it is.
so that Monday through Thursday, you're out.
Yeah,
That's on that town. Got something.
we got it.
Anything that we don't.
We got it. We got it.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Leroy.
Be one less hamburger we have to buy.
Yeah, I just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna pack it once and bring it up.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
All right.
Cool.
Dominique, approval of fund transfer and claims listings.
Mayor Costa and council, we need a transfer of $155,000 and the claims for tonight are $129,987.57.
Okay, list of claims is provided in the pack tonight. Anybody have any questions on those? Otherwise, I would take a motion to approve the transfer for $155,000 and the payment of claims for $129,987.57.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Abe.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Leroy. Motion and a second to approve the fund transfer and the payment of the claims listings for tonight. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Council member liaison updates and council member reports. Does anybody have anything tonight?
Jay, I went to, Thursday, we went to the Credit River. Rural Alliance meeting in the park and found it kind of informative. One of the things that was brought up at that, I actually thought might be a good idea to think about would be, they're talking about possibly having workshops in communities. That's something that other people, any thoughts on?
Workshops with what again, Jay? I'm sorry.
With basically a workshop with the council and planning and the different community representatives that were there. I thought it might be a good idea.
Be interested to hear more about that and what the scope of something like that would look like.
Yeah, and the reason I'm just bringing it up is I thought we already call it.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
saying having an action on it or anything else.
Right, no, yeah, I don't think we'd be ready for anything like that, but we need to have an understanding of the scope and what the desired outcomes from all the, just so we can be ready for something like that.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, to that point, I think we talked about having a co-workshop with planning commission on development in general. And I think if we were gonna do something of that nature, I think we should come and say, here's some thoughts. And if we're gonna, rather than just have a wide open,
Yeah,
here's some thoughts of what we're thinking about, give us some feedback. I'm thinking of, you get the MnDOT, right, where you get invited in for the concept plans or.
house, like,
So here's kind of some thoughts of ordinances, here's some thoughts of, how we would do some development, get some feedback there. I think that might be a better way than just wide open.
yeah, I don't think you have just a wide open walk down, sit down. You'd be here a long time and probably not get anywhere, right? That's why, if we don't have a scope of an agenda of some sort, then you end up sitting around talking for 2 hours and
It turned into
in the
wild,
end,
wild
and you
west.
get to the end of it and everybody look and go,
Now, what
what do we do? What do we do?
I think we definitely should ask for feedback and get
Oh,
that
yeah.
feedback.
Right.
But I think we should start with something and then get that back. I like that idea.
So you're thinking like get some input as far as people want to hear about or.
Well, a good place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think there was a survey that they were taking as well.
Mhm.
I'm guessing we're gonna hear quite a bit of feedback from that as well. So it might kind of organically happen.
Okay, and also I'm not gonna be here on the June 5th meeting. Kind of charity thing. Okay, so it's- yeah. So anybody needs it.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, anybody else?
Yeah, I was at the same event. They kept, I guess, they kept referring to the 2040. Plan. I was just curious if they looked at 2020 and the 2030 and the other ones that we had gone over with the county. To see if they're, what that was like, so they could get up to speed on that stuff too.
It's an opportunity. I know a lot of those, we just talked about that. And that we just had that workshop with staff and went through the whole presentation and included that history of when the Met Council first designated that area in 2000. And the stages of how it got to going forward, right?
Right.
Yeah, it definitely was that way for a long time.
So
Mhm.
I thought it was, they
Opportunity.
had a good group there and I thought it was informative and yeah, cookies were great. So,
We ate half a tray.
so yeah, it was very good.
All right. Perfect. Anybody, anything else?
I'd just like to make a statement too. I was just thrilled to see it and I was hoping we'd see more people here tonight because I think that's the whole point of local government is, getting some involvement, get some, some feedback and, it's hard when you only hear one or two individual voices. So I just encourage that. So
Mhm.
that was a well put together event.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's it.
Nobody has anything else? Take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Leroy. Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Look at that, 26 minutes.
You're getting better.